Hello, and thanks for joining us on this HOA Leader video chat with two of our experts. My name is Gabriella Flisco. Today, I'm joined by Dan Miskey of Wisconsin and Matt Zafroni of Florida. Today, we're answering a question from an HOA Leader reader who was elected to an HOA board just recently, and the reader is looking into the HOA's special assessment increase. So originally the special assessment was $150 per year for 6 years, and it was intended to address wood siding issues. And then last year, the board increased the amount from $150 a year to $300. And the reader says, without informing the community. So our reader wants to know, can the board use a special assessment to manage annual budget shortfalls? So in this video, we'll discuss that. And then in the second video, Dan and Matt will offer their insights on whether it's okay for a board member to relitigate a prior board's decision and when it might be time to just move on. So also, I just want to tell you, our experts are providing insights based on the laws in their state. This is intended to provide general guidance you can use to help you when you approach an expert in your state. So with that in mind, let's jump in. Dan, could a board in Wisconsin pass a special assessment to cover operating shortfalls with or without owner's permission?
Excellent. And the short answer is yes, in 90% of the cases, because in 10% roughly, the documents require them to obtain unit owner approval before any special assessment. Having said that, the concept of raising the special assessment from $150 to $300 an hour, considering the increase in construction costs that's taken place over the last year, does not surprise me even a little bit. I think the board's basic duty is fairly simple to identify, which is to properly manage the association and to meet its fiduciary duties, including those that are financial. And if the cost of doing something would be insufficiently covered by $150 special assessment, I have no problem with raising it to $300 because that's what's needed to solve the problem. That's kind of my full answer, at least as it relates to that.
Right.
Whether I think it's a good idea to have a 6-year special assessment, I think it's a horrible idea, because if you're going to do it, you should do it annually, because otherwise if somebody claims bankruptcy and you have a 6-year special assessment, the full special assessment gets wiped out, but that's a different issue.
Interesting. Matt, tell us in Florida what would happen here.
Pretty similar to what Dan said. In most instances, the board would have the authority to increase the special assessment if it wanted to, and increasing it for purposes of gathering additional money to overcome an underfunding would certainly be permitted. There are some instances where the association documents may require owner approval, but even in those instances, when you start having maintenance requirements go up against owner approval requirements, there may be ways of getting around the owner approval requirements of some emergency need and things like that. One other thing, though, I would add is that there may be a notice requirement that's different from owner approval. So in Florida, if a board's going to be issuing a special assessment, they're going to have to give a 14-day notice to the owners, be specific in the notice as to the fact that a special assessment is being considered, so that the owners can come to the board meeting and voice their opinion as to whether or not they believe the special assessment increase is appropriate. But ultimately, in most instances, the decision would fall on the shoulders of the board members as opposed to needing the approval of the owners.
Dan, in Wisconsin, just in general, even if it's not required to do that notice meeting where people can give an opinion, would that just be wise as a board practice to give a heads up that this is coming and let people voice their opinions?
Yes. And I'm saying it that way because the answer is, absent an emergency, the more notice, the more opportunity that unit owners have to participate in the decision-making process. Now, this is the truth from my experience. the less they care, as long as they have the opportunity. They only care when they feel like they never had the opportunity.
Yeah. Okay, great. So thanks for your quick takes on the topic, and listeners, thanks for joining us. We hope you'll join us again next month.